Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So it's been a very long time since I actually talked about QNT. Actually, no, it's only been like a day, but hey, it is what it is. But when we actually look at what QNT is doing, it is still a very interesting asset. I mean, honestly, I think that right now is a time where we're looking at what is going to help issue in the new revolution behind the payment sector. And we've been talking about Quant for a very long time. It's not, a stranger to this channel. I mean, we've been talking about Quant for well over a year now. We initially found it when it was at around like $20 to $40 or so. And ever since, there was no turning back. I mean, QNT has been probably one of my most favorite assets in the space simply because of the fundamental success behind it, as well as what it could possibly blossom into. To me, I've always looked at QNT as the modern day Bitcoin. That's always been the quote on this channel. It's not, something that I am a 100% guarantee on, but I do think that if there was a token in the space that could essentially be the new Bitcoin, it would be QNT. And I think that this is a possibility. We've been talking about that for a while. When we look at the current price of QNT, I would argue that, listen, a lot of us do want it to go lower, and it could very well go lower. We've been looking at it. It's in a downtrend. It looked like it hit that topping point yet again, that, lower high that we've been following since going back to February of this year. And we don't know exactly what's going to happen from here. Could it come back down to test this like $80 some range? Sure. But I have been buying some QNT. In fact, I think I just recently bought 10. I've been averaging into these positions over time, accumulating as much as I possibly can. Because even from here, a 4x to the all-time high is not too bad. But to me, I'm looking at the $1,000 plus level. I'm looking at the 10x. I'm looking at, the possible 100x at some point in time. Like, that is what I'm really kind of looking at with something like QNT. Now, also, we've been looking at a few statistics behind Quant. We've been looking at the holders tab. We just, recently hit 66,000 holders, which is something special. But also, even if you go over to CoinFi, which I don't know how accurate CoinFi is compared to CMC, I think that these are, completely diverse in their own way. I don't know when this is actually going to hit like a new low or anything like that in regards to exchange percentage of QNT. Again, is this very accurate? We don't know exactly how accurate this is. We can't really call that. But I will say this. When we look at the number of holders, we do see this at 71,000 compared to what we are seeing over on CMC, which is 66,000. Again, don't know how accurate it is. All we do know is that, listen, we are still nearing the 70,000 mark for holders, and that is something very low comparing it to most, like Bitcoin that has 43 million addresses. It might even be more at this point, but again, you can kind of tell how early Quant is in the adoption cycle and even the holding cycle of a token like QNT. I mean, just kind of sharing and, kind of comparing what Bitcoin has done in its time in this market, I mean, is substantial comparing it to something like QNT. Remember, Bitcoin does not have nearly as much utility as QNT, and the supply is actually a lot more on Bitcoin's side than it is on QNT's side, which is substantial when you're actually looking at the longevity of your investment vehicle. So I think that QNT, to me, comparing it to Bitcoin, is actually a better investment vehicle on the surface. And I thought that this would actually show. Let me see if I could refresh this. I don't know. CMC has been kind of weird with its glitches, and it's been slow for me. Sometimes it doesn't load, sometimes it does. So yeah, I mean, right now it's not going to load the total addresses. But we do know that's around 43 million as of August 10th, as you guys do see here. So you can kind of see exactly how early QNT is in terms of the holder amount. But also, Quant has been still making strides. They've been continuously updating us. They've been continuously, making new developments within their Overledger operating system. And we do see over here 2.2.14 is an engineering release. There's not a huge improvement here or anything like that. But we do see here this release introduces technical changes to improve feature functionality. They're more so kind of focused on security and scalability at the forefront of this. And we do see down here like the major changes are improvements to internal configuration mechanisms, additional field level validations for Ethereum and Hyperledger Fabric transactions, expansion of DLT event monitoring, and subscription functionality for QRC 721 tokens. So you'd love to see it. Again, recently, yeah, I mean, like on August 18th, we did see 2.2.13. And then before that, on August 4th, like 2.2.12 launched. So again, they have been making a ton of releases here. They've been making a lot of development moves, and I'm very excited for this. I think that this is great. And also, they are still hiring. We actually do see over here they, just announced Monday Blues. Why not consider a career in blockchain at Quant? We have a number of exciting vacancies on our rapidly growing team. And again, I tell you guys to look at this because this is actually pretty important. Like when you look at where they're hiring, what substantial area they are hiring in, it kind of gives you an insight on what they're trying to build here. A lot of their positions that are open, or I shouldn't say a lot, all of them are centered around the UK. And I actually look at this, and it's interesting because when you look at this and you compare it to what has been happening around the UK in regards to crypto innovation and regulation, it kind of gives you an insight on where we are headed and where Quant is kind of positioning themselves. To me, they know exactly how big of an opportunity it would be to not only be the interoperability solution for the United Kingdom, but they know that the UK is ready. The UK has been ready for a while around crypto adoption, and I think that it's great that they are realizing this as well, and they are hiring within that area. And also, recently, Quant had posted this, and it's our, on our partnership with LacChain. Gilbert Verding explains, not only will it be easier for people to send and receive payments, but more importantly, they can access new markets because LacChain is cross-border. We already know about this. We've kind of talked about this. But what I want to talk to you guys about within this article going back to the 13th of July was a few things that they let on. So first off, we do see down here like a few quotes. I really think that the cross-border payment is the next agenda, the next frontier. This is over a $156 trillion market. I do believe that it is perfect and ripe for disruption, specifically around crypto. And down here we do see it comes down to cash flow, and there's a lot of uncertainty. You can't have transparency of where your money is and how long it will take to get paid. So it's a case of wait and see for the business owner. And again, this is from Quant. And there's also a few other things in here as well that they do mention. They also talk about real-time digital assets make getting paid instantaneous. All users need is a phone. Not only will this make it easier for people to send and receive payments, but more importantly, it will also allow them to access new markets because LacChain is, cross-border, etc., etc. But what we really want to focus on is when is this going live? That's the big focus point, right? And we do see down here connecting the future. LacChain is a great example of how blockchain technology can improve financial inclusion, digitization, and drive evolution in new technologies in Latin America and beyond. Approximately 1.6 million people have already directly benefited from its services so far, with the payments and trading elements of the project powered by Quant's technology due to go live in 2023, according to LacChain. I do believe that 2023 will be Quant's year. And we do see down here, it's been more than a year since we started an ambitious line of work with Quant to enable a solution for tokenized money on LacChain. And as a committed partner, they've brought exceptional expertise and technical proficiency to the project. And Quant's work with LacChain to support interoperability and secure smart contract creation facilitates a range of use cases to help communities sustainably build the digital infrastructure of the future. That's when local businesses and citizens can actually start trading, and they'll have the wallet on their smartphones and be able to use LacChain like any app. And this is to go live in 2023. I'm telling you guys, pay attention to 2023. I know that's a little bit of a wait away, but it's not that far away. And I think that 2023 is really going to be a big moment in time for crypto. So far, it's been almost a year since we've topped out in regards to the overall crypto market, and I think that we are ripe for a major move. And I do think that 2023 might be the start of that. I'm very, very excited for that. I think everyone should be paying attention for it. And also, last but not least, I do want to share a quick insight. So as we are talking about 2023, actually, we kind of put a center point on the Web3 move. It's not a surprise, but we have been watching the Web3 area kind of blossom out on a few networks. Hedera has been one of the biggest key players around the Web3 push. They have been a leader within it. They have also made a ton of leeway. When we look at Web3, I don't believe that it is going to be a big success without interoperability. And we do see up here Web3 interoperability, the next great leap for businesses. And as we do scroll down here, we do see, the blockchain revolution is upon us. What began as an experiment in finance and technology initiated by Bitcoin has now spawned an intricate blockchain ecosystem with countless independent networks. These networks form the infrastructure of Web3, the next generation of internet development. And yes, I do completely agree. I think that when we look at what is happening, this transformation is going to be one of the biggest ones. I would argue that this is going to be probably one of the biggest revolutions to happen technologically in history. Why? Well, because we are taking something as big as the internet and blossoming it into something much, much bigger. It's giving control back to individuals, revolutionizing things at the core of business processes. We look at NFTs, we look at DeFi, we look at everything happening within this market. You look at, think about it like this, right? Look at just some of the use cases on the top 10 list on CMC. A few of these assets are disrupting trillion-dollar plus markets. Cross-border payments by itself is a $156 trillion market. That's substantial. So when we actually look at the Web3 push, I think that it's going to be so much bigger than what anyone can really kind of look at. But I do believe that interoperability is going to be the key player for these major pushes. And I also think that it is going to unlock a lot for these major businesses and even corporations. Because remember, right, like it's the key that is really kind of unlocking the, success rate of Web3, but also allowing for these businesses to connect within the Web3 sector. And I think that this quote down here actually sums it up perfectly. Interoperability will be the key that unlocks Web3's potential for both businesses and consumers. And I agree fully. The efficiencies in Web3 are too great to ignore. I think that mass adoption will take place within the next few years. It could even happen next year. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here. But all we do know is that, listen, 2023 is a big moment in time. I think that this is going to be a very exciting year. And I think that even during the next few months of this year alone, it's going to get very exciting. And with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because there's more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, after you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.